All right, so this week, for those that don't know, that haven't been paying attention, I'm calling it Fix and Smite week, where basically every day we're going over a section of Smite that I feel like could use some improvements, that has some things that could be done to improve the experience. These are not necessarily all ideas that I have come up with myself. These are things that pro players, content creators, high-end ranked players have all been saying them, some of them more recently, some of them for a very long time. Yesterday, we talked about how to help fix the ranked system and things that could improve the ecosystem over in ranked. Today, we are going to be talking about content creation. I'm specifically going to be keeping this towards live streaming Smite, because once you get into like videos and YouTube and stuff, you start to get into like all of their algorithms. But I'm going to try to keep this on things that Hi-Rez actually has within their power in order to help fix things for content creators and make that life and ecosystem better. So step one, in order to make the content creator game better for content creators, you gotta stop the 24/7 Smite game channel. And we're gonna talk about this one for a minute because there are some caveats to this that I wanna make sure that we cover, especially right now since we're kind of deep diving this. So for those that don't know, the Smite game channel is a 24/7 channel. There's always something happening on it. Sometimes there's content creators streaming on it for a couple of hours, right? Sometimes there's SPL, sometimes there's SCC, sometimes they're literally just running VODs of old content, but the channel is basically always going 24/7. This is one of the biggest hindrances, in my opinion, historically to all content creators in the Smite scene. It means that when you click on Smite, what's the first thing that you see? You see a default company-run channel as the very first channel every single time. For years, very large content creators that have been talking about Smite have talked about how the second that they see that, they immediately think to themselves, "Oh, that's a dead game." And that is a quote that has been said by very large content creators. Famously, Summit said this about Smite. He said, the first thing that I thought when I looked at Smite and I saw that Smite game with the #1 channel is I thought, oh, that's a dead game for content creators. And not very far away from the point, which is the Smite game channel being 24/7 takes away an immense amount of viewership from other content creators. At any given time, there's like 30 to 45% of the total viewers of Smite AFK in the Smite game channel. And now more than ever, with Twitch shifting the way that revenue works on Twitch, having those viewers is incredibly important to distribute those out through the ecosystem. Whether you're a streamer with 10 viewers and now you get 20, whether you have 500 and now you get 700, it makes a massive difference, especially in the long term for content creators. Now, the immediate net effect of that does two things. One, it means that when the Smite game channel is live, you know that something big is happening, right? If the Smite game channel is only used for patch notes, SCC, SPL, you know that, oh, I see the Smite game channel live. I'm going to go check it out because I know there's a big something happening right now. So that also helps out with the viewership for the Smite game channel during big events, during your patch notes, particularly during your SPL, because every single time you see the channel is live, you know that something important is happening. Another side effect of this is there are a few but limited amount of people that are content creators that do stream on the Smite game channel. They are paid to stream on the Smite game channel. Under no circumstances am I saying that these people should not be paid to stream Smite. But they should absolutely not be paid to stream on the Smite game channel. There should be a separate program that is made for smaller to mid-tier content creators within the Smite scene that you can apply to And then you get that payment for streaming X amount of hours of Smite on your own channel. This means you're actually growing your own channel because you're putting in more hours on your own channel. It means that Smite still gets to boost their numbers through the viewerships because you get more people playing. And this has been done by plenty of other games. Naraka Blade Point comes right to my mind for sending out offers like, if you play 100 hours of Naraka Blade Point on stream, we'll pay you Y dollars. Very easy to implement. You can start a special partner program for that. You can say, we're going to accept 10, 15, 20, 30, however many content creators you want to do that with. And then you can pay them to stream X amount of hours per month. That way you're not taking away that revenue source from those people that are already streaming on Smite Game. I am trying to help content creators, not take money away from them. So I do believe that they just need to be replaced and encouraged to stream on their own channel, which is better for them in the long run and hopefully won't take away any revenue. Part 2 of the content creator process that would help. This is going to be specifically to battle 24/7 channels. So Smite Game is a 24/7 channel. And it's run by Hi-Rez, which is why I wanted to point that out first. But point 2, anybody that's been watching Smite this year has noticed an increase in channels that are 24/7. Now, I am not talking about people that are doing subathons and go to sleep and so they throw on a VOD. I'm not talking about people taking a midday break to go eat lunch or work out or whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. You know the channels. I'm not going to call out any names. There has been a rise this year of channels that do not play Smite at all. There is zero Smite occurring. There is, in fact, zero anything occurring other than being live for 24/7 in order to get viewer points. That is their only purpose. That is their only design. And so the easiest way in order to prevent these from being a problem is you have to make some sort of Smite application process in order to give viewer points. This is not a process that should be intended to not give small content creators points. This is not to factor out, anything but specifically these 24/7 channels. If you have some sort of process where you have to apply to have viewer point drops on your channel, they can be very, very lenient with whoever gets in, basically accepting anybody that wants to play Smite. And then you keep out the 24/7 channels. If the 24/7 channels do not have drops, nobody will watch them. That is the only reason why they are watched. If you take away the 24/7 Smite Game channel and those 24/7 channels, all of a sudden you're distributing all of those AFK viewers out into the wild for content creators. And I promise it will help the ecosystem, and it needs it badly right now because the Smite viewer base live and on YouTube is down bad. It's down about 40% across the board, which is about how much the player base is down across the board. Those numbers very closely associated together. You need to find a way to retain the viewers that you have, which brings us to our next thing that you can do to help out content creators in Smite. And this is something that we've actually seen done before, which is a monthly drop campaigns for Smite. So if you go back to the OTK tournament, and I'm not going to get into how that was handled and how everything went down, because there's a whole lot of drama llama to get into over there, but that's not what this is about. What we did see was a severe increase in viewership across the board for Smite streamers. Okay? I'm not talking about the general numbers increase because there was big streamers playing Smite. I'm saying the people that would normally play Smite, I'm talking Fine OK had 3,000 viewers. I'm talking Polar Bear Mike was pulling over 1,000. Ven had over 1,000. Tons of people were having 2, 3, 4 times their viewership numbers than they normally did. Why did they have those viewership numbers? Because there was an increased incentive in order to watch Smite for that month because there was better drops than normal. It wasn't just the normal viewer points, there was also stuff on top of that. So if you formulate a new monthly drop system, make it easy. Every month it's a new drop system, right? January, February, March, first through the end of the month, bada bing, bada boom. You make it really simple. People will catch on very fast. You'll be like, okay, at the start of the month, I can start getting these special drops. At the end of the month, I have to make sure I have all my viewers, all my watch hours in that time. Got to accept all my stuff. And then I can go to the next month and get the new thing. Easy little path that you could follow. Something like at first you get a booster, cool beans, but then you watch a little bit longer and now you get a ward skin. Ooh, and then you get an icon. Oh, and then you get 50 gems. Oh, I love 50 gems for watching. And then you get a tier 2 skin. You get a god unlock. It could be themed for the month. It could be Gilgamesh month. So you unlock Gilga and then you get a little recolor for him. And then you get this and you get that. The more things you can do, the better the viewership is going to be. Guarantee you do a monthly drop campaign, Smite viewership numbers double overnight. Overnight, they double. It doesn't have to be giant, massive tier 5 skins cutting into the bottom line of high res. It just has to be an incentive that gets people to want to watch. You can theme it for the month. It can be fun. You can be like, we're gonna do a voodoo theme, so it's gonna be like bear and stuff and Baba Yaga stuff. You can make it. You can market it. It'll get people to watch. It'll help out content creators. You get more people playing the game. You'll get more people watching the game. Bada bing, bada boom. Look at everything's flowing. The blood's flowing. That's the biggest one. If anything, I mean, the other two are important. 24/7 stuff is nice, but that one right there would be huge. Huge, I tell you. And finally, this one's going to be a little bit tertiary. This one's a little bit on the side, but it's something that's been bugging me for a while. And this is going to have less to do with the exact Twitch scene. But you need to remove the Smite game Nexus Store. For those that don't know, the Nexus Store was kind of this idea to help content creators within Smite, which is where it's basically an officially sanctioned store where you can go buy gems, you can buy the God Pack, you can buy the Season Pass, all that kind of stuff for Smite, as well as other high-res games. You can buy stuff for Rogue Company or Paladins or whatever you want to do. And it was a pretty good system. Some content creators were actually getting some pretty decent bonus revenue off of that. You would see people on the leaderboard. You'd see like Sam and Rexy and stuff on the leaderboards, probably like an extra $500 or so a month. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. And then Smite Game decided that they were going to make their own Nexus Store. And ever since it has been introduced, it has been the #1 selling store on Nexus, which defeated the entire purpose of Nexus being a place that you could go to support individual content creators and to get your gems in your God packs and stuff. It's just another way to buy them directly through high-res, which makes absolutely no sense. And the exact second that you saw them pop up on the store, every single content creator's revenue went down on the Nexus Store. Every single one dropped down. So there's absolutely no reason for there to be a Smite Game Nexus Store. All of the ways you've always purchased gems have always been there. And the entire purpose of Nexus was so content creators could have a way to be supported by their community through purchases that were already benefiting high-res. And then high-res went ahead and took the lion's share of that revenue. So that one is really just more of like, it really irks me more than anything else, because it really says to me that they just don't, they're either entirely oblivious to how it feels as a content creator to see it happen, or they don't realize the real life impact that genuinely the second they introduced their store, everybody's revenues dropped by like 50% from the Nexus Store. And that was a really big deal. So I would love to see that removed. And those are basically, I think, the most important things in terms of content creation, of what would help content creators at all levels. Just for a quick recap on that, no more 24/7 Smite game channel. Do in fact make a special program to continue to support small and mid-level creators, so that way there's still ways for them to get paid to play Smite. This is not about hurting content creators. It's about being able to get more revenue out to more content creators and make the scene more accessible to more people. And the Smite game channel is not doing that. It should only be used for pro/high level things like patch notes, etc. 2, an exception-only program into Smite viewer points in order to combat against the 24/7 channels that very literally never ever play Smite. There's often 2 to 4 24/7 channels in the top 5 to 10 channels at any given time. Like I said, this is not to stop people from doing subathons or going to work out or eat lunch or any of that stuff. That's healthy for content creators. But it is to battle against the channels that are just sucking 300, 400, 500, 600 viewers at a time, and they genuinely have never played a game of Smite ever. Monthly drop campaigns, which is the biggest one in my opinion to getting people to watch more Smite. People love an incentive. As we talked about with the 24/7 channels, plenty of viewership on a channel that nothing's happening on. Why? People like the viewer points. You give them even more incentive to come watch. I promise you, the Smite community loves a viewership incentive. They love it more than anything in this world. So give them a viewership incentive. Give them a nice long path to follow that gives them rewards that they can put in their pocket and onto their account. And remove the Smite game Nexus Store, because the whole point of the Nexus Stores was to support content creators. And if you're buying your gems through the Smite game store, then there was no point of having the Nexus Stores to begin with, guys. And those are the things that I do believe would help out all content creators in Smite a lot. I think it would make a big difference in viewership numbers. I think it would make a big difference in revenue and overall feeling towards high-res and Smite and the desire to play and make content for the game going forward. Tomorrow we are going to be talking about the SPL and things that I think could help out with the SPL, both for the players that are in it, players that want to be in it, and to make the viewership experience more fun and more accessible to people in order to help boost up those numbers for SPL and in order to get those players paid. Thank you for supporting the Twitchiest community. If you'd like to see more videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel and always hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Thank you for all your support and have a Twitchin' day, y'all.